Hello everyone, got a battle against another guy this series would be ill-suited to finish without facing, which is Blah, one of our longtime VG chat buddies. You may know him better as Super Blah or Nick, but anyway, he has a new channel, so be sure to go and check that out. His version, I believe, is going to get published at or around the same time as this one, so definitely check his out as well to see a much better glimpse into what he was thinking in this. And, yeah. Anyway, not to spoil the rest of the battle. Anyway. So we got Color Man versus Aggron, and this is already terrible. We're already out manliness, so you know it's already dire looks from the very outset. But anyway, we can try to spore it. We of course don't do team preview if we can help it, so I don't know if he has any spore immune grass types or not, or we can just stick with the standard, set up sticky web and then go from there. And I think that is what we're gonna go with. As he does indeed get megaed up, and this is a bit of a problem since we do not exactly have any powerhouse special attackers on the team aside from Swordman, and looks like a Life Orb Shadow Ball is going to be about the best we can muster against him, and that's probably not going to one-shot. That I don't know if we can chip off some HP, Sword will be able to outspeed and take him out with that. So that's kind of what I'm hoping we'll be able to do. So. He quakes me as I try to just burn my sash for the expense of a spore, and instead we get full parried, which is horrible because now this thing can do terrible things to me. So, in comes Shade Man to at least get Toxic Orbed, and let's see, we've seen two of its moves. I don't know if he's going to have coverage moves or just be pure utility. Probably based on T-Wave, just going to be mostly utility and tankiness. So, I would like to see how much an Earthquake will do. I know it's not going to do very much at all. Super effective stab. Mega Aggron does not care. I'd be shocked if it got it down to the middle of the 0 in 50. That's what I'm thinking right now. So we Earthquake, and it actually gets it down between the 5 and the 0 in 50. I love using the numbers on the top of the screen as a life bar indicator. So that actually does a bit more than I thought it would. So I'm actually very satisfied with that damage from Shade Man. So everyone give a clap to Shade Man for doing decent damage. So we're gonna knock off. I'm not sure there if I predicted a switch. Oh, there's a crit. Or else I wasn't yet aware. This is of course our first series of battles in 6th. Wasn't yet aware that knockoff on a Mega Stone, A, doesn't remove it, and B, I don't think it even gives the bonus damage. So I'm gonna guess that was probably just predicting a switch for some reason. Anyway, he Dragon Tails. And out comes Vaporeon, which I guess is okay. It's aside from maybe Swordman, it's about the next best thing I would want to come in here and try to get some Scalds and stuff. But anyway, so that is indeed what we're going to go with, and try to land Scald on it and fail. And in comes Rotom Wash, which I believe is one of his favorite dudes, and is going to be a major problem. This whole Vaporeon and Gliscor has been working out really well. Rotom Wash kind of eats it alive. We have Stab Electric for the Vaporeon, while also resisting Scald. And we have Stab Hydro Pump for Gliscor while being immune from Earthquake. So we have, yeah, the walls are not going to be very effective at killing this thing. It does not appear. We can knock off. I would desperately like to land a Toxic on it, is the main thing I would like to do. Which we should be able to do as we sacrificed Smeargle right there. But I'll get around to more stuff of Rotom Wash versus the two walls later. Right now we're thinking on who to drop in, which Gliscor, did he take damage? Possibly. Anyway, we're going to drop in Gutsman is who we're going to drop in. And I'm going to desperately try to... I realize at this time, also I need to note that, last time I played in 4th, A, these things weren't legal, and B, they were electric ghosts. So I am very much unfamiliar with Rotom forms, and I think this may actually be the first time I've faced one on Wi-Fi at all. So anyway, or no, well, actually second had Rotom Heat, so there was that too. This is definitely the first time I've faced Wash. So we're just going to Dynamic Punch here as he Volt Switches out and brings in Aegislash, which is the worst thing that we could have seen come into Dynamic Punch. So what do we want to do now? He is caught in Sticky Web, so he's going to be slower, barring Sneak. Seeing how much that did, I was, hoping at some point, maybe Gutsman can come into Rotom Wash and maybe actually get a hit off, but does not look like that's going to be the case. Looks like a Discharge. I think Discharge is stronger than Volt Switch, right? Discharge and definitely a Hydro Pump, which would have perfect accuracy due to no guard, would definitely kill from there. So thinking about what to do here, and I don't know how useful Gutsman's going to be for the rest of the fight, but we are going to outspeed at least, and should not die from Shadow Sneak. So I'm thinking I'm maybe just going for Fire Blast here. It's most likely not going to do anywhere near enough to kill, but if we can get him down to, you know, close to half, that would be okay. So that is what we're going to do. Does some decent damage considering he's you know, in the shield form with those good base defenses, and finishes me off with Shadow Ball, but he actually has Life Orb, so he's down into yellow. So, alright, that's kind of interesting. I'm glad we got him slowed now in case he's a set like similar to mine, as we're going to drop in Shade Man here. Okay, yes, Shade Man is not quite full health, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right, he took a Dragon Tail, I believe, yeah. So, he actually uses King Shield, so that's kind of interesting to me as we go for Earthquake, and just on the off chance he wanted to use King Shield, we would not get the attack drop. It's just interesting to me that it's got a Life Orb and King Shield, mostly because those were the things that were on opposite ends of the decision for when I was making my Aegislash. But anyway, so both attack moves are going to be super effective here, and let's see which one we're going to prefer. So Earthquake's going to be more powerful as its stab, but Knockoff is still going to do some decent damage. It's going to remove his Life Orb, and it's going to be nice if he switches out to something, namely Rotom Wash. Yeah, if he brings in Rotom Wash and an Earthquake, that's going to be a horrendous spot that we're going to be put in. So not only is this thing really effective against my walls, it can also get in on them really easily. So we do go for Knockoff, as I didn't much think he would King Shield twice in a row. And thanks to knocking off the Life Orb, we take a little less damage. Unfortunately, he's also now not killing himself. So I think we can gain some HP if we Roost here. And that seems to be a good idea. We're going to, again, kill him with either move, but I would really like Shade Man to be at full HP, which I believe he will be at after a Roost plus Toxic Heal, should Blah decide to switch or do King Shield or something along those lines to not damage me further. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to pull Roost and get back up to close to full, take another Shadow Ball. And after Poison Heal, we will be back up into green. Green is good. Green is usually good to go. So that's going to now, alright, he's in Blade form. So we have 2 moves we can pick here if we want to go ahead and kill him off, which we do. We might be able to gain a little bit of HP, maybe like 10 points or so, if we Roost again, but I would rather not give him the chance to crit or get a stat drop or something like that. So, we're going to knock off, which was a risk if he wanted to King Shield, but would be better if Rotom Wash wanted to come in. So, looks like that was the correct play there, as Carver acknowledges that, and instead he just now free drops in Rotom Wash, and now we're in a terrible situation. So, we still have our Sword Man we can go into, and that might be our next best way to kill the thing. Unfortunately, Sword Man is also how we're going to need to kill Mega Aggron, so I would really like him to not take any damage that if we can avoid it. That being said, he's probably not going to live in Earthquake anyway. Maybe from full and shield form, he might be able to live in Mega Aggron Earthquake, but even then I don't have the calc on me right now, but I would still not be comfortable doing that anyway. So maybe him being at a low amount of HP would still be okay. He'd just be able to fire off one powerful attack and then go ahead and take one for the team. But we are going to go into Sword Man here, as he hits a Hydro Pump, and that does not quite half, so I took that fairly okay, I guess. Especially considering we're not a defensive Aegislash. And what are we going to go for here? We will probably not be faster, actually, since Rotom is unaffected by Sticky Web due to Levitate. And I believe has in the 80s base speed, something like that. I know they lose some speed from the normal Rotom, who I think is 91. But yep, he's going to Volt Switch out, which will leave us at very meager hit points. And what's going to get brought in is we're going to click Shadow Ball, since Flash Cannon is going to be 4x resisted by Rotom Wash. Since it's handicapped, which is Tigger's Bee. I hate that thing. It is my least favorite Pokemon, period. It's so gross. It's got fecal matter and urine on its belt and poop all over its mouth. It just go away, Diggersby. The shiny Diggersby is okay because it's Bugs Bunny. But, oh my goodness, I hate Diggersby. It's the only Pokemon that literally makes me want to vomit. Anyway, it has surpassed Zebstrika in terms of infuriating Cooper and inciting his hatred. Anyway, we're going to Sacred Sword because I really don't like Diggersby at all. And he's going to U-turn. 4X resisted, but it's still killed. So that's really ungood. We see no Life Orb, and because I mean, if he was Scarfed, he'd be running, you know, Speed EVs certainly, and that would cancel out the Sticky Web, so I would think he would have outsped had he been Scarfed. We did not see a Life Orb. That leads me to believe Choice Banded, since Swordman died on a 4X resisted hit. Although low HP and low defenses, so it might have died anyway. Anyway, so our main method of killing Mega Aggron is gone, and along with that, things are definitely not looking good. But as you can see from the length of the video, we're only halfway done. There's still a lot of Pokemon left to be played. So, and here against Rotom Wash, and I feel like we could probably live a Volt Switch with Mega Absol, or just Absol since their bulk is the same. So we are going to get Mega'd up here, and the question is, what do we go for? He's no longer a Ghost type, of course, hasn't been that way since 4th. You know. So we could Shadow Claw, we could play, I guess we could play Rough, but he'll probably end up going into Mega Aggron to resist. Let's see, resist. He would resist. Well, just to resist any physical move. How about that? That's what Mega Aggron resists. Is it a physical move? Yes. Okay, Mega Aggron is considered to resist it. Anyway, so we decided to Swords Dance up here, and I think the only reason I did that was in case maybe he made some sort of misclick, or I don't know, trying to make something happen, taking a chance on stuff, as opposed to just being doomed to some sort of mediocre play. So, I'm hoping this Sucker Punch will deal a decent little chunk, enough for that maybe Gliscor can chip away at it. I believe we've seen all 4 moves. So we've seen T-Wave, I believe he set up Stealth Rock at some point, which I completely missed commentating on. Or did he? Did he? I think so. Anyway, I think we've seen all 4 moves. I may be way wrong. But I think we're just going to Sucker Punch here. T-Wave is definitely going to get reflected back, so he's not going to do that. So we're just going to go for most powerful move, get as much damage as possible on this thing as we take it down to 2 seconds left before we click the move. And Sucker Punch deals really not a lot of damage. Gets a crit on the Crit Master himself, and that means we got a Q Absol Boy to come in and herald the coming of the crits. And Gliscor is not going to be dropped in, and we're going to... this is bad. I want to Earthquake it because that's, you know, kind of the only thing that's going to deal any amount of respectable damage to it, at least safely. As yeah, we're down to the 2 walls. Who would have imagined this? It comes down to the last 2 guys, and who's it going to be? It's going to be Shade Man and Splash Woman, of course. And as you can see, we still have a good chunk of the battle left to go anyway, and we're going to have to attempt to make a 2-5 comeback somehow. So, it's going to start with trying to get this Mega Aggron dead, and we can Earthquake, and see where that takes us. Or we could, at this point, okay, this is probably a good time to explain my mentality on a certain thing. So, the damage calc I use is actually Smogon's 4th Gen calculator. I just really like the way its interface is and whatnot. Whenever it's, you know, new stuff, I'll just manually type in, like, Flash Cannon, that's now 80 Steel Special, things like that. He actually lets me get a Scald off here, which is very nice, instead of going into Rotom Wash. And Mega Aggron is now dead. But anyway, so that calculator is built for 4th Gen. I just have to edit in things like Mega Absol's attack, overwrite the base stats, things like that. But because I was using that calc, yeah, I somehow, I don't know, I don't think I calced it as Specs. I think I calced it as Scarfed, maybe? I think maybe all this time I was thinking Rotom was Scarfed. He may have actually switched moves at this point, but if so, I know I was thinking he was Scarfed at some point during the fight anyway. So anyway, I had some sort of calc in my head where, Gliscor from full has a shot to live Hydro Pump. Unfortunately, that calc did not include stab, so that calc was way wrong. But that was my thought process during the fight anyway. I don't think it really would have changed too much, as I would have just been banking at some point on a hydro pump miss. It's just that I thought if I was at full HP, I might have a chance to live it if it did hit. So we're going to protect here and see what he wants to do. He wants to Volt Switch. Now that's going to prompt me to maybe switch in Gliscor, as again I'm thinking, he's Scarfed. So if he's Scarfed in the Volt Switch, that would be a good time to bring in a Ground type, obviously, right? So that's definitely what's on the tip of my brain at this point, as I'm still desperately trying to figure out how we're going to deal with Rotom Wash. It's, I think, going to come down to maybe we can get a miss, or I was thinking at the time maybe we can get a live on a Hydro Pump or something and get it toxic, and then maybe Vaporeon can make something happen with Wish Protect. But we're going to need both of these guys in order to have any shot of killing Rotom Wash. It's going to have to be Toxic Stall, possibly Burn Stall if we can get a Scald on it as it comes into that or something. But we're actually going to stay in and just take a Volt Switch. So, okay. Go for Scald, attempting for a Burn, I guess, for something. I don't know. I still don't actually know if he was Scarfed. I'm going to have to watch his video to confirm that. So, at least not right now. I think maybe he does switch moves later. I don't know. Anyway, sends an Average Crow on Volt Switch, and this can also do U-turn, Happiness, and stuff, or it can just Brave Bird, which would do lots of recoil. I am kind of interested in regaining some lefties. I'm not sure what he would want to do that would be bad if I protect. I guess he could roost off some of that damage. That would be a thing. There's no need for him to... I don't think there's any need... Well, he could defog away my Sticky Web, which I still don't know if Stealth Rocker is up. And so bad paying attention. Anyway, yes, he is going to defog. So, you see, okay, yes, Stealth Rock is up. I'm not crazy. But that also does get rid of Sticky Web, which I'm not really sure how relevant that is. He's got this thing. He's got Rotom Wash. I forget actually what else he has. I know he has at least one thing left that's unseen. So, get back up some HP. He wants to Brave Bird, which is going to do lots of damage, but is not going to kill. And we are now going to Scald, which will pick up a kill. Unfortunately, Vappy is now down to super low hit points, and we're going to need to Protect and Wish and Protect and stuff. That's what he has left in, which is Diggersby, and that's very bad. So that's probably why he wanted to get Sticky Web gone, so that Diggersby would be able to come in and, I believe, outspeed Vaporeon. I don't think it would outspeed Gliscor, though, so I don't know, it might. We didn't, let's see, I forget how fast Diggersby is. I forget if it outspeeds. If it outspeeds base 70 max speed, then yes, it would probably outspeed Gliscor. But anyway, so thinking about what to do here, we obviously have no speed investment into Vaporeon at all. He will probably just go for Return, which will deal tons of damage, and something's going to get wrecked really hard. Definitely in a bad position, and yeah, you can see the time is ticking down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to Protect and see what move he uses. And he uses Return, which is pretty much what I expected anyway, but at least now we gain some lefties. So Return is obviously going to kill Splash Woman. And I think at the time I'm actually not sure who's going to be faster. I would imagine, though, that he has speed investment, whereas I don't, and I think the base speeds are at least comparable, so should probably switch into Gliscor here. He's at high enough HP that I think he could live a Return, and oh yeah, he's definitely high enough HP, and holy crap, that still did knock me down into the wed from almost full. That Wascally Wabbit over there with the... Can we not look at Diggersby camera? Please. Anyway, kill Diggersby, please. Yes, thank you. Okay, good. It's dead. I don't care about anything else. Diggersby is dead, and I don't have to look at it for the rest of the video. Good. Anyway, so now it's going to come in. He's got Rotom Wash and Buttercream, which is Goodra. So somehow or another, we went from... Somehow the wall combo has killed 3 pokes. I don't know how this exactly has transpired, but it has. When Rotom Wash probably could have mopped up the rest of the game by itself. Anyway, so this thing is here, and we should be faster, and we should be able to Roost and see what it wants to do. Goodra has a gigantic move pool. It could certainly pack Ice Beam. However, if it does Ice Beam, at least we would be able to negate the flying type and possibly live it. So we're going to go back up to pretty much full as it Dragon Pulses, and how much is that going to do? Gets a crit, and considering that was a crit, I am okay with that. I'm actually going to go ahead and Roost again. Once again, at this point in time, I'm thinking if I'm at full HP, I should be able to live a Hydro Pump, because it's not stab, right? Anyway, so I don't believe D-Pulse has any added procs, so we're fine to continue to do stuff. Gotta get this thing Toxic, and that's gonna be very happy for me, as now we can stay in, and actually, you know, this thing is using special attacks, but Gliscor is tanking them okay. Buttercream is poisoned. I would desperately like to get Rotom Wash poisoned. If I could predict a switch into Rotom Wash and get it Toxic, that would be amazing. We might actually have a chance to do something. I doubt it, but, you know, it would give us a chance, maybe? I don't know. So just letting poison damage rack up. At some point, we can start going for EQ. Up, but now comes in the Rotom switch. What move do we go for? We go for Roost, so we are going to be at full HP. So this is actually the situation that in game I wanted. Alright, full HP, gonna live a Hydro Pump. I'm not gonna live a Hydro Pump, but it might miss. So at the very least, it didn't really, I think I would have made the same play here regardless of that erroneous thought or not. We do get hit by Hydro Pump, however, and of course, since I did not factor in Stab, that is just straight up going to kill. Very sad. So there's that down, and now that there's not going to be a Toxic on Rotom Wash, it's just going to be, at best, a burn. I know that Splashone will likely be able to outstall Buttercream if she can get some HP back. But the problem is that is not going to look too likely. However, at this point, I'm thinking he is Choice, so I guess we're going to find that out right here. If he's choicing the Hydro Pump, then I'll just be able to Wish and Protect, get Splash up to a decent amount of hit points, and he's not Choice the entire time. He has Discharge, and that's going to end the game. So the two walls made a valiant effort, fought it back to, instead of a 5-0, a 2-0, but ultimately, Rotom Wash, we had no good way to handle that thing. So, good game, blah. See you guys for the next one. Later days. And also go and check out his version as well. We will probably put a link to that in the description, too. Does YouTube even do video responses anymore? I don't know. Anyway, see you guys next time. Later days.